It begins like any other day. Commuters fill subway stations in Tokyo. Children walk to school in Lagos. Coffee shops open their doors in Buenos Aires. The world moves at its familiar, unremarkable pace, completely unaware that something extraordinary is already approaching from the outer edges of the solar system. At the Mauna Kea Observatory in Hawaii, a team of astronomers is conducting a routine survey of deep space when their instruments register an anomaly. An object, massive in scale, is decelerating as it enters the solar system. This is not the behavior of a comet or an asteroid. Natural objects do not slow down. They accelerate under gravity. Within hours, observatories across the globe confirm the detection. The object is not alone. Behind it, trailing in a formation too precise to be coincidental, are dozens more. Emergency communications flood scientific institutions. The data is shared with governments. The word that no one wants to say out loud begins circulating in classified briefings, unidentified. Within 24 hours, the story leaks. News networks interrupt regular programming. Social media erupts. The footage from telescopes, grainy but unmistakable, shows structured forms moving with deliberate purpose. Governments issue carefully worded statements urging calm while privately scrambling to understand what is coming. Military satellites are repositioned. Intelligence agencies share data across borders in ways that would have been unthinkable days earlier. The world holds its breath. 72 hours after initial detection, the fleet enters Earth's orbit. Nothing in human history compares to what happens next. Across every continent, people step outside and look up. The ships are visible to the naked eye, enormous dark structures that blot out portions of the sky. Above the Atlantic Ocean, a vessel stretches across hundreds of kilometers. Above Central Asia, another hovers in perfect stillness. The mathematics of their size defies easy comprehension. These are not spacecraft in any sense humanity has imagined. They are cities in motion, engineered structures of staggering complexity. World leaders convene emergency sessions. The United Nations Security Council meets in continuous session. Military commanders from the United States, China, Russia, the European Union, and dozens of other nations coordinate through secure channels. Scientists from every discipline are pulled into government advisory roles. Astrophysicists, linguists, biologists, engineers, and psychologists all attempt to contribute frameworks for understanding what is happening. Attempts at communication begin almost immediately. Radio signals are broadcast across every frequency. Mathematical sequences, prime numbers, visual patterns, recordings of human languages, all of it is transmitted toward the ships. For 36 hours, there is no response. Then something changes. AMP's signal returns. It is not a language in any recognizable sense. It is structured, layered, and deeply complex. Linguists and artificial intelligence systems work around the clock to decode it. What they find offers no comfort. The signal does not appear to be a greeting, it appears to be a declaration. The first strike comes without warning. AMP's pulse of energy, invisible to the human eye, sweeps across low Earth orbit. Every satellite in its path goes dark. Global positioning systems fail simultaneously. Communication networks collapse. Financial systems freeze. Air traffic control loses contact with thousands of aircraft. In the span of 4 minutes, the technological infrastructure that modern civilization depends on is effectively neutralized. Military responses are immediate but largely ineffective. Missiles are launched from multiple nations and intercepted before they reach the upper atmosphere. Fighter jets scramble and are disabled by electromagnetic fields that shut down their electronics mid-flight. Naval vessels lose propulsion and drift. Ground-based radar systems go blind. The alien technology operates on principles that human engineers cannot immediately identify or counter. Drones, thousands of them, descend from the larger vessels. They are precise, methodical, and overwhelming in number. They do not appear to target civilians indiscriminately. Instead, they focus on military installations, power generation facilities, transportation hubs, and government buildings. The message is strategic. This is not destruction for its own sake. It is the systematic dismantling of human organizational capacity. Cities descend into chaos. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Hospitals operate on backup generators. Evacuation orders go out across coastal cities and major population centers. Highways become gridlocked. Underground shelters fill beyond capacity. In rural areas, communities begin organizing independently, sharing resources and information through whatever means remain available. The scale of the disruption is total, but humanity does not stop moving. In the weeks that follow the initial assault, something remarkable begins to emerge from the wreckage of the old world. Scientists working in underground facilities and improvised laboratories start analyzing recovered drone components. The alien technology, while vastly superior, is not incomprehensible. It operates on electromagnetic principles that human physicists recognize, though the engineering is centuries ahead of anything on Earth. AMP's critical discovery comes from a team of engineers in South Korea. The drones communicate with their motherships through a specific frequency band. Disrupting that frequency causes them to malfunction. The discovery spreads through an improvised global network of researchers communicating via shortwave radio and physical couriers. Within days, makeshift jamming devices are being assembled from salvaged electronics in garages, university labs, and military workshops across 6 continents. The resistance is not organized by any single government or military command. It emerges organically, driven by necessity and the fundamental human refusal to accept defeat. Soldiers adapt their tactics. Small units operating without electronic equipment prove more effective than large formations that depend on technology the aliens can disable. Guerrilla strategies, developed over centuries of human conflict, find new application against an enemy that relies on centralized control systems. Major confrontations occur across every theater. In the North Atlantic, a coordinated naval and air assault using modified jamming technology disables a cluster of alien drones, allowing surface ships to engage the support vessels beneath one of the larger craft. The battle lasts 11 hours. Human losses are severe, but the engagement demonstrates that the invaders are not invincible. Similar engagements occur over the Himalayas, across the Sahara, and in the Pacific. Each battle teaches humanity something new about how the alien systems operate and where their vulnerabilities lie. 3 months into the invasion, a coalition of scientists from 17 nations achieves what many had considered impossible. By studying the electromagnetic signature of the motherships, they identify a resonance frequency that, when amplified and directed, causes cascading failures in the alien vessel's power distribution systems. The technology required to generate this frequency at sufficient scale does not exist in any single country. Building it requires components and expertise from across the globe. The effort to construct what becomes known as the resonance array involves engineers from former adversary nations working side by side in a facility built beneath the Swiss Alps. The cooperation required to make it happen represents a transformation in human political relationships that no peacetime negotiation had ever achieved. When the array is activated, the effect is visible from the ground. 3 of the largest alien vessels experience catastrophic power failures and begin to drift. Their drone networks collapse. For the first time since the invasion began, the skies above large portions of Earth are clear. The remaining alien forces do not retreat. They adapt. New drone configurations emerge. The motherships redistribute power through redundant systems. The war continues, but the balance has shifted. Humanity now knows it can fight. The question is whether it can win before the cost becomes unsurvivable. History, as it is later written, branches at this moment into 2 possible trajectories, and both deserve honest examination. In the first, the resonance array technology is replicated across multiple continents. AMP's sustained campaign of coordinated strikes, combining the new electromagnetic weapons with conventional military force and civilian resistance, gradually degrades the alien fleet's operational capacity. After 14 months of conflict, the remaining vessels withdraw from Earth's orbit. Whether they leave permanently or simply regroup beyond detection range is never confirmed. What is certain is that Earth survives, changed beyond recognition, but intact. The second trajectory is darker. The aliens adapt faster than humanity can innovate. The resonance array is located and destroyed before it can be replicated. Without a decisive technological advantage, the resistance fragments. Individual nations begin negotiating separately with the occupying force. Earth does not end, but it is reorganized. Human civilization continues under a structure of control that is not human in origin. Resources are extracted. Certain technologies are permitted, others are suppressed. Life goes on, but the terms of that life are no longer set by humanity. Both outcomes raise the same fundamental questions. What does it mean that a species capable of crossing interstellar distances chose to invade rather than simply observe? What does it reveal about the nature of intelligence itself, that advanced capability does not guarantee peaceful intention? And what does humanity's response, whether victorious or defeated, say about who we are? The invasion, in either version of events, strips away every assumption about human exceptionalism. We are not the most powerful intelligence in the universe. We may not even be among the most powerful. But the response, the improvisation, the cooperation, the refusal to stop adapting reveals something that raw technological power cannot easily replicate. The capacity to find meaning in resistance, to organize under pressure, to share knowledge across ancient divisions. These are not small things. They are, perhaps, the most distinctly human things of all. Whether they are enough to matter in a universe that contains civilizations capable of crossing the void between stars is a question that no telescope has yet answered. But the asking of it changes us, and perhaps that is where the real story begins.